So, look, I think it's fair to say by now most people are aware that home sales in the United States are really, really low right now. And that's certainly the case in a place like Nashville, which is my hometown. But that's not the only place where you're seeing a demand problem. Retail sales locally, okay, I'm not talking about at a national level, even though the trend looks similar, I'm talking about local is really in recession territory. Yes, they do track that. And it's kind of like been in contraction, I would say, roughly since fall of 2023. We're obviously in a very different interest rate environment. And pre COVID, you did see like a couple blips here and there. I mean, the most obvious one would be like in that 2017-ish period where we started to see a marginal increase in rates, which of course they then dropped, and then that trend reversed. But you're just not seeing that right now at all. You're not seeing any evidence that, hey, it was just a brief stint of us having a demand problem on the retail sales side. The same thing really on the home sales side. And yes, I mean, at a local level, depending on how granular you get, it can be more volatile. So you do have to sort of make sure you're looking at things apples to apples. But broadly speaking, we just have a demand problem, and you see it in a variety of different data sets. So uh, it's just a mistake to look at things siloed. There's just so much cherry picking these days. So many folks are guilty of doing that. They're just kind of seeing what they want to see. But here, I'll talk about how something like that relates to housing. So some categories that would roll up into to retail sales would be like food stores, eating and drinking places, building materials, auto, boat, aircraft sales, things of that nature. Now, if you were to pair all of that information, like something like the residential permitting data, which if you haven't already looked at that, it's clearly slowing. Again, a demand problem. On top of that, tourism is down. A good proxy for that would be looking at something like the airport traffic, and I've been highlighting that it is way off of its highs, really right after like that post-COVID frenzy where like there were people down on Broadway, and I'm sure they still do it, like twerking on police cars and shit. But it's just not there, guys. The demand is really slowing. So there's a reason you're seeing an uptick in short-term rental listings. Those properties just are not cash flowing anymore. But there's all of these like mixed signals too in this cycle because we're in this really post QE dystopian sort of backdrop where, for example, like in Nashville, the unemployment rate as of December is like 2.9%, not seasonally adjusted. But on the flip side, private sector job growth is at 0.14% year over year. And outside of COVID, the only time it's ever really been that low is in 2001 and 2008. So people really just don't understand those things. They don't really understand how important it is to have a grasp on the relationship between job growth and the unemployment rate, where we go from here. That is a problem. I mean, things like leisure and hospitality, they rolled over, the employment for that bucket rolled over several months ago. Even when you look at like the non-sampled version of the employment data, it looks virtually the same. So, look, guys, I don't make the rules. This idea that there's just, hey, an isolated incident of a restaurant closure here or there around town, it's just not true. And you're just going to see more of it going forward. So, look, at this point, people just need to take a hard look at the numbers. Anything other than that is just counterproductive. The business cycle is not dead. There's just been an enormous amount of hand holding this cycle, which is really, I think, gonna catch a lot of people off guard. So, I mean, you can say that that's a doomer statement, but as far as I'm concerned, that's just math. So do with that what you will. Okay, bye.